right, everyone. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here, getting settled in and just making sure everything is working on my end. So, there we go, popping it up. If we got some folks checking in the comments, let me know where we are watching from, and if you have any questions about anything. We're talking a little bit about some active weather here over the next 7 days, particularly next week. This week looks pretty good out there, but I wanted to bring some information to you since a lot of folks will be preparing for Thanksgiving, maybe file it away in the back of their minds and not stay up to date with the forecast. We really want you to stay connected with things as we move forth. So we will spend some time talking about, yes, some snow possibly next week and what the big setup looks like, what we'll be watching for, and what you should be watching for too with the forecast. Of course, we'll have more updates as far as it goes later on. So in the comments real quick, I always love to give some folks some shout outs where they're watching from. And then if you can, click share. We love to share with our friends, especially around Thanksgiving, so folks are aware. We got Joshua checking in from Bismarck. Just saw Peggy from Bloomington, Tracy in Milford. We got Robin in Newton. A number of folks checking on in there, so thanks for joining us here for this update. My first time on Facebook Live with you, so it's great to join with you here as far as we go. All right, let's just talk real quick about some of these showers in the area tonight. They're exiting, so we're on our way out of that. Trending drier, still a little drizzle and mist in some spots on the radar. The radar beam is not angled flat along the Earth. It doesn't go parallel to the Earth. It actually angles a little bit away. That's because of the curvature of the Earth. So farther away from the radar, we know there are some light mist and drizzle beneath that radar beam, and that is going to mean we're going to miss out on that on the radar, but we know it's there from those the weather cameras we have. Springfield in particular has been dealing with some mist and drizzle, a little bit here outside the studio as well throughout the night, so that's something that we'll be watching here. This big low right here, you can almost see the spin. This big low that came on through, that's been what's responsible for our showers and our warmer air earlier today. That warmer air, you can kiss it goodbye in a way as it's on the way out here, and so in its wake will be mild, sure, but not seeing the 60s like some of us did today. I still think we got upper 40s and 50s on the board over the next few days. Here's how the next 8 hours shape, and then we're going to jump into that next week's impactful event potentially. Down into the low 40s. Some spots may get to 40 or 39 where we can clear the clouds a little earlier. We do expect to stay mostly cloudy into tonight and tomorrow. For the start of the day, clouds will hang around. Then it'll be a race to see how much cloud cover can erode away before we get a little sunshine. And we'll watch it closely. I'm optimistic. Some of us can get some sunshine. Some of us may miss out. That's just the way the dice are rolling for us here. We'll all be getting, I think, into the upper 40s and low 50s, though. Look for a west wind tomorrow, 5 to 15 miles an hour. Should be great if you've got any outdoor plans for Thanksgiving. Maybe you're eating outside to stay safe, or just spending some time outdoors with the pets, go on a walk, whatever you can. Tomorrow should be a good day for that after today's soggy day here in the region. All right, this is where we start to watch a little bit more closely here. Quick check in those Yorkcast temperatures. Again, upper 40s and low 50s as far as it goes out there. No real concerns. The next 3 days also are just fine. It's just beyond that when we start to have some issues. So, of course, Thanksgiving, decreasing clouds, dry on Friday, dry on Saturday, 40s and 50s, lows at night, 30s and even 20s as we go into Friday night. It's just beyond our 3-day forecast where we start to watch the setup starting Sunday into next week, and that could get a little bit interesting around here as far as things go. So we're hopeful we get some sunshine Friday and Saturday. Saw Peggy saying she's tired of the gloomy weather. Maybe we get some sunshine for you. Certainly, though, I'm born and raised around here. Seems like the winter time has more clouds than not. Been that way for much of November here. All right, let's talk about this setup and what's coming for next week, starting Sunday through the middle of the week when we have to watch things closely. I will start and say that there's a lot of uncertainty still in the forecast as far as the absolute specifics. We're looking at the big picture here. I had a professor in college, Dr. Cordy. She would say, you know, you're looking first at the forest, and then you zoom in a little bit more. You start looking at the individual trees. Then you look at the individual leaves in the trees. Then you zoom in and you're looking at, you know, if there's any bugs in the trees or any disease or anything like that. The detail focus where we go. Right now, we're just looking at the forest from a distance. Big picture. Here's what we're expecting, and that's what this setup is revealing to us here. First off, next week regardless, we know it's going to be cold. A lot of cold air bottled up in Canada and the northern plains is going to fill on in. So that's something that we'll be watching closely. The question is going to be with our low pressure and what it does here. We know it's going to swing to our south and carry off to the north and east. And it will pull a lot of moisture with it here, it seems, from the Gulf and lift that to the north. Where we get a little questioning here, and we have to watch closely with these types of setups, is with this low pressure coming up the Appalachians, the eastern seaboard, and the cold air coming in on the backside, sometimes we get some moisture that wraps around in the back. And depending on what that low does, that may mean that on that backside, maybe we can get a little bit of some snow flurries in there, some snowflakes mixed in with our rain. So something that we're watching, but I will say this. There's some questions still on how much moisture will be available. The better odds right off the bat will be off to our east. We're kind of on that border as far as where we go from something to nothing in central Illinois and west Indiana. And that low pressure, its track, will be very important moving forth here. And I'm going to show you that here, what I think is going to happen. First off, this is an eastward track with a low. We know that the low pressure is either going to have to go east or west of the Appalachian Mountain Range. That runs right up here from Georgia through the Carolinas, Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, up into the northeast there. If we take a more eastward track with our low pressure here, it jumps to the south, goes down and visits Atlanta, and carries up the eastern seaboard through the Piedmont Triad in the Carolinas, through Washington, D.C., up the Northeast Express corridor, that is. That would mean more than likely we would be left with just some sun and clouds here, maybe a few isolated flurries mixing on it, but no impact. Better chance for snow is going to be off to our east with that cold air filling on in. However, I'm getting more and more convinced that we may end up getting a westward track with this low here. We carry it on the west side of the Appalachians, and if that happens, we also may see where our low pressure stalls out here, kind of becomes cut off from the jet stream. If you're familiar with the jet stream, that's the atmospheric highway that can carry our weather systems on through. And usually you get springtime severe weather, we got the jet stream overhead. It still is a factor through the winter months as well with these systems. And so if this takes a westward track and gets cut off from the jet stream, which I think is a possibility, frankly, at this point, then we might have that area of low pressure stall out here somewhere over the Great Lakes and the Ohio River Valley. We'll watch it, but that would mean perhaps some sticking snow on the table here. I'll just say sticking snow, another word for accumulating snow, on the table as a possibility with some impacts next week. The details, though, again, can I say it's going to snow this much on this day from this time to this time? That's not where we're at yet. We're looking at this big picture and identifying and evaluating, okay, what happens if this westward track wins out, like some of the guidance is starting to trend towards, like I've been thinking here. And that means that we may start talking about some sticking snow next week. Now, Thanksgiving holiday, a lot of folks not paying attention. They're busy cooking dinner. We think you should pay attention to this here because it could mean anywhere from nothing to something for the forecast next week. I'm leaning more and more towards something, and we'll make that call here into Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. The other thing, too, is we're far enough to the west where we very well may say, hey, we're thinking we're going to get some sticking snow in the region, some accumulation possible next week. But I think that we'll see a sharp gradient from some decent snowfall to nothing. And that could very well set up over central Illinois. And that's going to be a battle we fight, too, is where is that boundary in place? If we take that more eastward track, that'll probably be through Kentucky, southeast Indiana, Ohio. We take that western track, that starts to put us here in the potential for some of that sticking snow here. So we'll watch it closely and keep our eyes on that as far as it is. Again, a sharp gradient would probably be the setup with these types of cutoff lows in place. Cutoff lows are notorious to forecast. If you think of it, it's like trying to cook a steak dinner with your eyes shut and the lights off in a room. You can still cook a steak. It may not turn out great. And these lows, too, is going to be something where they kind of do their own thing. So that's going to be a tricky pattern for us to watch here. I keep thinking we're going to get something, and even if it's just flurries, that could be that first chance for us area-wide for at least something winter-like here after Thanksgiving. And a great way to transition, of course, into December. So again, what we're looking at, we know cold air is coming. I've got temperatures next week, low to middle 30s for highs, lows at night down into the 20s out there. That's the first ingredient you need. If we can get some moisture in place and put things in place, then some snow showers on the table, and impacts, yes, are a possibility at this point. I won't say we're getting nothing and then have to backtrack later, but I'm not going to say we're getting everything and then have to backtrack either. I want you to be aware that next week, if we get things to play out, the cards play out with this type of pattern, some impacts certainly are possible with the first snow of the year if that pans out. Here's the deal. Best thing to do at this point, download the WCIA3 weather app. We'll keep you connected on there. We update those videos throughout the day. It's a great way to stay updated with the forecast, especially over the holidays. You can log on that. It's on your phone right here. Check out the 7-day forecast. You can look at our Weather Now video. You can also see a video when we talk about that 7-day forecast. And if you want to see the 7-day forecast now, you can go there, or you can also join me at 10 o'clock. We'll have that full update for you as far as what that looks like. But certainly a great way to stay connected. Was right here with that app, especially with the way the pattern looks. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be a bit hard to forecast with exact details until we get closer, but at least now we're saying, hey, might think about keeping an eye on it. Coming off a holiday weekend, we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as potential days when this could set up. We want you to be aware and informed ahead of time of what could happen. So we're kind of just bringing some awareness, saying, hey, pay attention. Could get a little bit of wintry trouble somewhere in the region, particularly here in central Illinois as far as things go. That's what I've got for you. What I want to do is real quick check through the comments. If you have a question, great. If not, be sure and join us at 10 o'clock. We're going to break down that setup again. I'll have an update on your 7-day forecast. We'll talk more about the rain exiting the region tonight. But certainly watch the potential for some snow flurries. Can't say that right. Some snow flurries into next week with that setup in place. It's a tricky one. Grown up watching it, and so we'll have to watch things closely here as far as it goes. All right, that's what I got for you. Just kind of peeking through the comments. I'm having trouble with that. I'll have to figure out. The chief, Kevin, he's out for the long holiday weekend and deserves it, rightly so, but I'll have to figure out from him when he gets back next week. He's gone until next Tuesday, so you'll be riding it out in the evenings with me and all weekend long with me too. Amelia will be on Friday morning. Of course, we have no morning show tomorrow, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well, we'll have updates. You can join me again tonight at 10, tomorrow evening, all Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, and then I'm off for a little bit to take some time, but certainly you can count on your WCIA 3 weather team to keep you updated and informed, just again raising that awareness. All right, some folks just kind of commenting in. Thanks for following us. Thanks for trusting. If you haven't liked my Facebook page, would appreciate that. It's tagged in Facebook. And we'll keep you updated if we see the trends continue to progress. And probably not tomorrow. I may not do a Facebook Live tomorrow, but we'll do another one on Friday night. And then throughout the weekend, keep you updated with this potential here. So there it is. There's your first heads up. Winter trying to sneak on in right on time, right? We get Thanksgiving, avoid any problems before that. Then afterwards, roll right on into December. It's going to be Christmas before you know it, folks. So what is it? 1 month from today. Hope you got your presents bought. I still got to buy quite a bit, so we'll be doing some shopping, I'm sure, here in the future. Have a great rest of your evening. We're about 12 minutes out from WCIA 3 News at 10 o'clock. We're going to sign out, and if I can get my mouse to work, let this Knobblewagon roll, and y'all have a great rest of your night. Take care.